Excellent, and welcome everybody. I'm very happy to be here and to conduct this roundtable. My name is Francisco Lopez. I'm the CEO of L Education, and I would love to welcome you and to welcome all of the participants to this panel, where we are going to address a topic that not only defines our present, but it will also shape the future of education, culture, and society: the intersection of artificial intelligence, art, and humanity. What began as a futuristic promise is now a palpable reality. AI integrated into every aspect of digital interaction. Artificial intelligence poses challenges and opportunities that go to the heart of being human. We face ethical questions about privacy, algorithm bias at Rutgers University. Well, thank you, all of you, for your participation. I would like to start this conversation speaking about the role of the humanities, the role that humanities play in shaping a critical understanding of artificial intelligence. So who would like to start?
I can jump in.
Okay, great.
And I'm gonna start kind of like at the end of this talk. I kind of like had this one already ready to go. But every technological advance that we've been through needs to be backed by some strong humanist perspective on the field of sociology, philosophy, like any discipline really, for it not to go completely bonkers and unravel in a bad way. That's my take on this.
Perfect. Who would like to?
I would say that, sorry, thank you very much. I would say that the role of humanities today is key. It's more than ever before, and the proof of that is that today in the different panels and conferences, there are topics like what is human, what is to be human nowadays. That is something that never happened before. When internet appears in the landscape at the 90s, when I was there, maybe some of you as well, there was no thought about that. It doesn't mind. The importance was to develop the technology, but there was not many conversation or discussion about philosophy, and arts, or what it will be the impact of the internet in the life of the people. 30 years after, we see what is the impact. In some point, it's not the best thing that we were expecting. The internet is not the thing that we were thinking at the 90s. But now, with the artificial intelligence, the discussion is like is in the first point. We are speaking about what is the impact before EA reach a higher point of development.
Let me answer this question from computer science and AI point of view. I'm myself an AI researcher for the last 30 years, and being a computer scientist and AI researcher, that put me from a very different viewpoint. So 15 years ago, I started a lab called the Art and AI Lab at Rutgers, with the focus of interacting with people in humanities, art historian, and people in art schools, about how AI can influence art and art history, but also how can we advance AI by looking at creative projects. However, the main conclusion I came to realize that people in humanities have very different viewpoints of things and very different questions and concern. And being a computer scientist, knowing exactly how people in AI, how people who develop and research AI think, I realize that people in this domain have no idea whatsoever about what are the concerns of the people in humanities disciplines. And that's very alarming to me, because most of the people who work on developing AI never ask questions about the ethical implication of what they're doing, the philosophy of knowledge, very fundamental questions that people in humanities look at and study. And that's very alarming, because there's a division in silos in academia go back 200, 300 years. and now it's time to break these silos and bring together humanities and science and technology in ways to educate people doing the AI development about these issues. So I think humanities now has a role more than ever to break out of their academic bubble and bridge into people in AI to educate them and inform them about the important issues that has to be addressed.
Anyone else?
Well, I would agree with that. And in fact, it's very interesting to see how the recent advancements in generative AI, most notably chatbots like ChatGPT, which are touching one aspect that is very human, which is language. So these advancements have produced keen interest in ethics, for example, which is something that I think it wasn't that much on the scenario so far. So when the internet started, as I think you mentioned, nobody was asking themselves ethical issues about the internet or how this would make us less or more human, or how are we different from. But once language is mastered by the machines, then all these things start to have importance. And the other thing that I just wanted to say, maybe it's not very relevant in this table, is that usually from our so I come from the technological part, and when we think of humanities, we think how can we help research in humanities, for example. No? So there's a branch called digital humanities, and this is a branch where we try to make this bridge between these both communities, but maybe more in the sense that, hey, we are technical people, how can we help you? What kind of tools do you need to do your research? But it's a good thing to the other way around, no? How can humanities help how technology is developed?
I would like to address something like art from, the very beginning of humanity. This is something that is literally attached to human beings, like being artistic. So how do you believe artificial intelligence is going to transform the production and the conception of art?
I have just stopped, so I wouldn't.
Art is technology.
Exactly, I was going to say.
From the
From
very
the very
beginning,
beginning.
every art is technology in the execution of the art. There is, the part of imagination, the things that happens this morning, Ignacio Martinez said, the things that happen in the mind, within the mind, that nobody really knows very well how it works. But at the end of the day, you need technology. We saw this morning the Altamira paintings. That's technology. To make that, even Ignacio said, this is the PowerPoint of that time. So it's technology. Now we have it seems, a very powerful technology that will allow creators to create more and to dream more, to reach a new scenarios where technology will allow them to make new things. AI is not a problem for creativity. AI is a problem for those that doesn't create nothing. But for creators, it's not any problem.
Yeah, I have a couple of points to say here. As was mentioned, with every technology, artists always take notice and use technology. And over history, if you look at over history, every technology that affected art only made more people become artists, because it allowed more and more people being able to express themselves. So from the time of invention of oil paints, to the time of invention of printmaking, to the time of photography, to digital art, to now AI, more and more people can express themselves creatively and can call themselves artists. This is one good thing. We had a survey a couple of years ago about, we talked to artists who use AI to understand what is the value that AI bring to them. And among many different answers, it was clear that there are two things that artists like about AI. Creative inspiration and creative volume. By creative inspiration, I mean, or they mean, that AI can really inspire them and give them new ideas that they never thought of, or new directions. And creative volume, meaning that AI can help them create things at scale, fast. So if you're an artist, you don't have the luxury to have a workshop or be able to work with you, AI can really help you in that. So these are great value for artists. However, that comes with a very problematic issues that we have to address. And number one is artist identity. Because art, the fundamental thing about being an artist is your unique identity. That's how distinguish you from anybody else, or other artists. And that's what great artists are about. And my concern is how art making using AI, or how AI being used in making art affect this artist identity. That was a problem that happened before in photography when photography came around. And there was a famous case in France in about 1870 where people wanted to copyright photography and it was rejected because they thought photography is not art. And it was very crucial to answer this question, how the photography can carry your personality and any artistic identity. And once this was settled, photography was declared to be an art form. And that's the question we have now, because we and you can use the same AI system, and there's no difference between what I'm generating and what you're generating, other than a random generator at the background playing a role of chance in you making something and I'm making something different. So where is my identity? Where is your identity? And that can be wiped or lost. And unless artists are aware of that and use the tools in a wise way to keep their identity, I'm worried that their identity will be lost. That's one of the biggest concerns.
But I see that there are different things. One is creation and the other is copyright. There are different things. But for example, we don't know exactly who painted some paintings from Leonardo da Vinci, right? Because it was their disciples, not really him. He developed a kind and a style, but there were other people who paint the pictures, the paintings. So it's very difficult. I agree with you, but there are, from my point of view, a different thing. Copyright is key for the cultural industries. It's key, but the other is creativity.
If I can jump in real quick on that, I wouldn't reduce like an artist identity solely to what a machine can probably recreate, which would be something like along the lines of style or fashion or whatever, but rather I would consider artistry as a particular view on the world that someone projects on a particular moment in time. So yeah, I mean, a style is also not for the artist to own. It's something that's being given to it by years of studying, and it's full of references and influences and everything. I'd rather like to see it as something that is actually probably not able a machine to replicate, which would be like that particular view on the world. So style, I wouldn't worry that much about it. Like, I mean, anyone can copy your style if it's good enough technically. So it's not that important.
I never mentioned all the style. It's not what I mean by artistic identity. I exactly mean what you meant, because art's identity, in my sense, is basically how is your view of the world come to play in your art. It's not that style at all. It's not your view. And your view as an artist is very unique to you. And that I would like to see in art. And that's what's being lost today when you use AI to make art. Not 100%, but a majority of it. If you go to something like Midjourney, for example, and look at what's on there, they all look the same for me. I don't see the art.
Because AI doesn't make art.
Exactly, but
AI
these are
helps to make
totally.
art,
But these
but
are
doesn't make art.
That's these are human artists who use the AI to make art and think of it as their art. But in fact, they all look the same for me because something is lost here, which is art identity. So it's not just about style. It's about basically how the AI is trained, how AI understand what you're trying to do, and enforce certain concepts in the art that's being generated, and that's where certain artists don't like it at all because their artistic identity is lost, and while others embrace it, but are not aware of what's happening in terms of their identity being lost.
Okay, there's no art without creativity. So what role does creativity play in the intersection of artificial intelligence, art, and humanities?
Okay, as a art and music professor at the UCJC, we have a project, Evasia. It's artificial intelligence based in the fine arts. For us, the most important is complexion, art, humanity, and skills of a class. How artificial intelligence can produce contenidos, ¿cómo se dice?
Content.
Okay, thank you. Pensaba que era bilingüe y por eso me cuesta mucho hablar en inglés. Bueno, no sé si lo puedo decir y me podéis ayudar mejor, porque si no me voy a... Lo estoy
No, es
pasando.
que puedes decirlo en español.
Perfecto, muchas
Sí,
gracias
sí.
porque
Claro.
lo estaba pasando un poco mal.
Nada.
Bueno, tenemos un proyecto de investigación en la Universidad Camilo José Cela que involucra a dos facultades, la Facultad de Tecnología y Ciencia y la Facultad de Educación. Se llama Evasia y es Enseñanza de las Bellas Artes soportada por inteligencia artificial. Entonces, bueno, todo esto que estabais comentando, de lo cual he pillado bastantes cosas, pero el problema es saber expresarlo. Pues bueno, yo quería comentar también para hablar y hacer acto de presencia que nosotros lo que enfocamos es la pregunta, sobre todo si la inteligencia artificial es capaz de generar contenidos que puedan ayudar con fin didáctico, únicamente didáctico, a aprender contenidos específicamente en el ámbito de la pintura en la historia del arte, enfocado de momento a clases de bachillerato donde estudian historia del arte. Entonces, bueno, pues partiendo de ahí nos hemos hecho muchas preguntas porque acabamos de arrancar. Es un proyecto que acaban de aprobar a nivel interno ahora en 2024 y, bueno, pues estamos en ello, haciéndonos muchas preguntas. Pero desde luego, pues sí hemos probado, hemos empezado a tocar Midjourney, Stable Diffusion en OpenAI y, bueno, pues por supuesto, Copilot, DALL-E 3 y todas este tipo de inteligencias artificiales. Y lo que puedo decir hasta el momento es que en lo que llevamos de investigación, pues es que, por ejemplo, le hemos pedido, puedes dibujar, pintar un puente japonés como si lo hubiera pintado Francisco de Goya, y el resultado que hemos tenido hasta el momento pues realmente no ha sido muy lícito, no ha sido muy creíble, ¿no? Entonces, el tema sería que eso mismo llevado a un aula, ¿no?, de bachillerato con los alumnos en el ámbito de la educación, si puede servir para estudiar y aprender esos contenidos de la historia del arte. Bueno, simplemente por lo menos quería participar.
Great. So let's speak about opportunities and limitation. Collaboration is important in every area. So I would like to speak now, and I would like to listen to you about your vision about the opportunities and limitation of collaboration between artists, humanists, and AI expert.
Well, I can mention that recently the Barcelona Supercomputing Center collaborated with one cultural institution in Barcelona called CCCB, Centre Cultural Barcelona, in an exhibition on AI. And the collaboration materialized in 2 or 3 installations. And so that was the purpose of those installations was create something artistic that would use AI technology so that the public could learn a little bit about this technology. And for example, one of the installations was a collaboration with a singer, a woman singing, and she had the idea. Of course, the artist has the design, and the technological part just provides the support. And so she had this idea of having her voice clonated, and then she created espacio sonoro. Sonic space where her voices resonated, and so that was one of the projects. And in another, a poet gave us his material, his poems, his texts, and we fine-tune a language model on his production, and had a system producing poetry in the style of this person, and a voice. I think we clonated his voice too, and we had the voice reading aloud the poems, things like that. So that was like playful things. But we had this collaboration, yeah.
I think that we need to recover. I came back again to the birth of the internet, where people from design, engineers, philosophers, everybody was working on the development of the internet. Artists, always that technology was linked to the art, to the culture. During the way we lost the focus, and we need to recover that. If not, we will not achieve a healthy AI. We will create a new kind of, I don't know, a machine culture, or what it say for some authors, an algorithmic culture. But is what, from my point of view, is what we don't need. We need the human culture assisted by the machines, because we could create more, as you would say, but not a culture that is not from us. It's created by algorithms, just for algorithms, because today algorithms learn, as you probably know, algorithms learn from each other. They don't need human intervention, and for that reason, art, culture, design has to collaborate with engineers, because if we let AI only for engineers, it's not going to work.
If I can add, as an artist myself, graphical artist, for the last 4 or 5 years as a freelance artist, this is completely game changer, and it's already in my pipeline, already implemented. It works. Lets me have 2 clients instead of 1. It's working, and you just need to find the right tool set. I kind of imagine it. I didn't get that part in my generation, but my seniors' generation of artists would talk about when Photoshop came into the production pipeline of graphics in general, and yeah, they thought it was the end of everything, and it just made everyone make a lot more money. So that's my, yeah.
We are getting close to the end. I have 2 more questions. I would like you to do a little exercise to make and to foster a great public understanding, actually, the AI and its societal implication. So we can give them an idea about what the implications are for society are going to be.
There's going to be a very big impact. I think that we cannot yet predict how this impact will look like, but it will have an impact at all levels.
Well, it's going to be, yes. In some blogs, I read something like AI. Somebody that knows AIs are going to substitute you. Is not true, because all of us, we are going to use AI. Everybody is like in different levels. For an artist, it's a different thing. for, and people working in the office, is office augmented and this thing, but all of us, we are going to use AI. The thing is, as you say, that we don't really know until what point is going to change things, because we are now, as I used to say, crossing the bridge while we are building the bridge. So we don't know what is the end. Even we don't know what is the end of the impact of the internet. So, we have to see, and that's the reason we need scientists, artists, designers, and everybody implied on this.
Yo, en la línea de la pregunta y en lo que estabais comentando ahora mismo, y también con la conferencia de esta mañana de Ignacio, con lo de las cuevas de Atapuerca, que lo habéis mencionado, yo como artista también y músico, las dos cosas a la vez, que son mis disciplinas artísticas, además de profesora, yo diría que hoy en día en la sociedad pues esa a lo mejor es uno de los mayores retos, ¿no? Poder conservar el alma, la esencia de quienes somos, independientemente de lo que hagamos cada uno, ¿no? Con ese avance, antes avance tecnológico, como se había dicho en la conferencia anterior, ahora inteligencia artificial, y el día de mañana pronto, pues no sé qué nombre tendrá, probablemente pueda cambiar, pero lo importante es poder mantener ese equilibrio y pues no perder de vista ese alma, ¿no? Que somos.
I would like to conclude speaking and making you speak about ethic. What are the ethical challenges the integration of AI pose in art and humanities? So we're speaking before about what is being an artist, I mean, if it's artistic or not. I mean, you can keep the essence of an artist. So what are the implications, the ethical implications of AI in art and humanities? The biggest one you can see.
There is a lot of implications.
What is an artist design, for example?
Yeah.
What is it?
No, there is something, for example, what in the US they call the fair use of a previous work. This is something that now is in discussion, even in Spain. It's not being the same than the US, and the judges recognize that an NFT is not a transformed art. So in the US, it's just the reverse. You cannot do this kind of transformation of the art. So we need to this discussion about ethics and the respect to the works of an artist, something that we need to speak a lot more, and we need the help, of the people that write the laws and everything. But together with that, there is something that for me is very interesting. That is why there is no in OpenAI, Microsoft, Google, whoever, and CEO. Well, they have a CEO, but not a chief ethical officer. They need a chief ethical officer within the companies to analyze all the different, the things that are implied with AI.
Maria, Javier, as artists that you are actually, how do you envision that? I mean, what are the main ethical challenges you can predict and you can envision about AI in art and humanities? I would love to hear you, since you are both artists.
I don't know, really. It needs to be explored yet. Copyright and all of that is always an issue, but I mean, that's been an issue since the beginning of arts, really. And there's been also a bunch of artistic movements that have actually played along with that idea of replication and proprietary art. I wouldn't be concerned. I think it's an opportunity, also a great new medium, also a new place to start new conversations and explore also new topics, like how does a machine work with a human? What is cyborg? What is like all of the other things that we are yet to explore? So I wouldn't be concerned really right now at this moment.
Bueno, yo en relación, no sé si voy a responder a eso exactamente, pero en relación a lo que estaba diciendo Javier, bueno, los artistas tenemos la oportunidad ahora, según lo que hagamos cada uno, ¿no?, pero de valernos de esas herramientas de inteligencia artificial para crear contenidos, para inspirarnos, para sacar resultados los que sean, ¿no?, que nos puedan servir. Diríamos que el punto, una de las desventajas que todos sabemos, pues es el planteamiento de la autoría, ¿no? En este caso, según lo que hagas o según el resultado que tengas, sea más analógico, sea más digital, el tema de la autoría, si es generado por una inteligencia artificial, como ocurrió en un concurso en Estados Unidos no hace mucho, que el premio lo ganó un cuadro digital, de formato digital, que había sido elaborado única y exclusivamente por una IA, por supuesto entrenada, ¿no?, pero no lo sabía el jurado, entonces bueno, ganó el premio. No recuerdo el nombre del título del cuadro ni nada más, pero bueno, pues está en internet la noticia, entonces bueno, pues a lo mejor eso podría entroncar con esos contenidos éticos o aproximarse.
I just want to add or comment about the copyright issue. I think copyright can be a fundamental problem because in the past, copyright was a problem between two entities. If you copyright somebody, you and the person who you copy from have a problem, but now it's a three-body problem because as a user of the system, you can end up violating the copyright of somebody without even knowing. You can really generate something and you have no idea that that's actually a derivative of somebody else's work, and you don't know, and maybe you didn't even intend to do that, but you end up with an ethical problem that you didn't know about. And that's a big problem that comes with AI now because the way AI is built now, just to reuse what had been trained on to generate new things. So that's a very obvious ethical problem that need to be addressed.
Let me just add that this affects, for example, other types of work, not strictly artistic, but for example, I've heard translators, and I've heard people that use their voice as a means of work, like actors, like people that read e-books, for example. So these people are complaining that the machines are learning from their work. They are taking their output as input for the creating systems that are in competition with them. So that's an ethical problem.
No, sorry. In fact, OpenAI is addressing this because I don't know if you test that. If you submit or upload a book to ChatGPT and you say make a 20 pages resume summarize of the book, you get the message. I can do that because of copyright. So some AI companies are already addressing that because they are accumulating suits from a lot of...
Yes, but sometimes copyright will not protect you. For example, a translator that works for a company, and their translations, I guess belong to the company. And the company uses these translations to build a system that will automatically translate and can eventually get rid of the translator, the human translator.
I live with that every day because we test voice clonation.
Voice cloning.
Voice cloning or a synthetic voice, and there are exactly ethical limits because actors and actresses owns their voice, so you cannot use that to use it in another
to train a system, and people are losing their jobs right now in this area. So when we're talking about the impact is happening right now. So there are professions
the impact happened too during the Industrial Revolution too.
Right.
Every time there's a change in society, I mean,
exactly.
The impact obviously.
New jobs appear, some jobs disappear.
Yeah. So well, that has been everything today. Thank you so much for being here and for participating in this panel. It has been a pleasure to have all of you here. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.